You don't have haters. Maybe you just have a lot of people telling you the truth. Hi sweeties, I'm Angel. Guys, how are you? I'm wearing a body and any girl knows they ride like crazy. Currently I have a front and back wedgie. So it's a new year, we love it, fresh start and that. I read 3 books on rotation a month. Sometimes it's more, sometimes less, but I like a spiritual book. Recently I'm into finance, so a book about finance, and then just like a feminine book, a girly kind of whatever kind of book, just those kind of genres on rotation. So I read this book 10 Times Happier, and it inspired me to make this video because I think I've kind of learned how to hack my mood, and we're just constantly growing, and it's so good doing self-development, especially at the top of the year. Everyone loves to make resolutions, and don't judge my bob, okay? I cut it myself, so it's all sorts of lengths, but I'm just gonna act Parisian. So anyway, 10 Times Happier inspired me to make this video, so I'm going to give you 10 pointers that I use to hack my mood. I am a critic with no credentials, so feel free to turn off now. These are just things I use personally, so you don't have to take them personally. But yeah, if you're interested in finding out what I do to hack my mood, press subscribe, like, and also click the link below if you want to buy my new... I'm joking. I love myself. Number 1, supplements. Get you some vitamin D, especially this time of year. It is cold, and scientifically speaking, genuinely, the darker you are, the more vitamin D you need. And even if it's not vitamin D, there's definitely a supplement out there that you need, and you'll be surprised. Can you believe that back pain is associated with vitamin D? You join the gym, you're being more physical, and you're still in pain because you're mineral deficient potentially. So you really need to get on this supplement game. It's a game changer. We unfortunately live in a world where things are GMO, and we can get things all year round as well. It's not normal to have fruits all year round, they're seasonal. So you have to think, how are they giving them to us? Our soil is not as nutrient dense as it used to be. When you go to Africa, you eat food, you feel fulfilled. My back pain and any kind of issue I had disappeared when I was in lockdown in Uganda for a month. And I was thinking, what? And it was the vitamin D top up. Going on holiday is not just to flex on the gram, it truly does elevate your mood. If you're unable to, get you some vitamin D tablets. It reduces inflammation, and get it in a high dosage. Go to the pharmacy, don't be getting 4,000, go up, get the 10,000, 20,000 capsules. And that sounds wild, but just look up vitamin D, or any kind of, if you're feeling, I don't know, that you have digestive issues, maybe you need bowel salts. If you're feeling fatigue, you could be low in zinc, magnesium. Understand your symptoms, we all have them, and be like, why do I feel fatigued? You're potentially lacking a mineral, and assuming you're eating healthy, as we all are. I haven't been, and that's why. And supplements is not a substitute for eating healthy, which I've had to learn the highway.
Huh? What?
The hard way.
Oh. Okay.
Because my eczema breakout currently, it's never been like this. My underarms are ruined.
That's not how you say ruined. What? Ruined? What do you call the remains of ancient Greek structures? Ruins. And how would you describe this evening? Well, ruined, of course. This evening is ruined.
But, you know, we can get all of that back. So it is what it is. Okay, number 2. Identify your dark side and study it. Do some shadow work. We all have a trait in our personality that just isn't that cute. It's kind of selfish, whether it be, you know, you're gossip, you are gluttonous, are controlling. We all have something. I know for me, I tend to be a bit blunt, and honestly I think that that's something in my personality that I can't even change. It's so ingrained in me that I just learn to use my emotional intelligence and read the room. If someone is a sweetheart and they just chill, they're not really, you can tell that they're not here for the, I don't know, for certain conversations, I'll probably fall back. But if you come at me with the asking for advice and I'm probably gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. I am working on, you know, diluting it a little, but honestly,
Miss Jackson.
I think it just is what it is. So people that's not for them, I get it. Like, just don't ask me for advice. But we all have something in our personality that's a little bit weird, and you just need to, once you understand it and don't run away from it, you become more comfortable with that part of you. Original sin, whatever people call it, there is something that we all do that's like, damn, I'm lazy, damn, I'm, could be more hygienic. Study yourself. That's how you become better, and don't be afraid of the dark side. Do some shadow work.
Fuck you.
Try not to ruminate. That is my next tip. Thinking about things that happened in the past is good to understand where you're going, of course. But I think we sometimes dwell on the negative, like you replay a breakup over and over again in your head. You replay a negative thing that happened. A little bit is good. That's why I'm doing this video. It's good to reflect. It's good to understand why you felt that way, why the situation ended up that way. But my point is, don't dwell. Don't dwell to the point where you've kind of, be better. I think there's definitely been situations where, you're talking to someone and it's like the 9th time you're having that same conversation with them, or vice versa, that's the 9th time they're having their conversation with you. If there's no growth in place, like we're still talking about the same thing, like you're complaining, kind ma'am, you have not changed it though. So what are we talking about here? If you've actively changed it and you still don't like it, cool. You can ask someone for advice, we keep it moving. But if you're just constantly complaining, damn, it's really not a helpful way to live. And don't believe everything you think. And when you ruminate and it's a negative thought over and over again, you're genuinely manifesting negativity into your life. Try and focus on the positive. And if you are consistently going over something in your head, think about why, so that you can eliminate that thought, Next tip, limit the trauma dumpers in your life. Trauma dumpers, similarly to my last point, have a way of I am empathetic. I used to be on the phone to people for hours, and then I realized it's just not for me. One, I'm not a mental health professional. Your friends are not therapists. It's the blind leading the blind. You can only do so much. So if it's really that deep, you should elicit help, professional help. And don't be ashamed of that. We're in a time now where mental health awareness is celebrated, which is a great thing. Before it was so taboo to see a therapist. It's not anymore, and there are outlets that provide free help if you can't afford it. But look into that, It's really not fair for people to dump things on you. It's just not great etiquette. And I found as well that these people that dump things on me, when I tried to ask them for help, South London. When I tried to ask them for help, they really couldn't give it, and I try my best to give constructive criticism. Yes, it can be a bit harsh at times. Yeah, I just think you'll find that trauma dumpers have a way of just dumping all their emotions on you, things that are just honestly out of your control. I've had people tell me things like, this is how I felt when my dad left me to do huh? That's just not fair to put on a person. Any childhood trauma that you're having, you have to understand that you need professional help, and that's not a bad thing. You can't now somehow equate me cancelling plans or me telling you the truth with a feeling that goes that far back and that deep. It's just like, how did we get here? And you mean well. I think most people are good people. They're not trying to dump on you. They're not trying to do the most. But this is what I mean. As humans, we all end up doing the most at times. Sometimes it's just like, shut up, I'm done. Like, we're in the club. You'll find you're in the club, you're in a happy place. In Soho House, and this girl burst into tears. And obviously I was sitting with her, so I had to assist, but I was thinking, damn, is this the time or the place? And sometimes things seem attention seeking, even though they're out of your control. But could you have not gone to the bathroom? Do you know what I'm saying? Of course, emotions can catch you at any time. I have been there. It could even be, you're PMSing, so you can't control it. Genuinely, hormones that's one thing I'm learning now, how to hack my hormones. Because I recommend getting an ovulation calendar as well. Like, find out when your last period is, log it, because it's all mad. Like, you'll be out here like eating a chocolate cake. Trackers will help. But I digress. Limit the trauma dumpers in your life. So this is somewhat going to contradict what I just said. But it all ties in, you know what I mean? Do quarterly, have some friends, get you some friends that you do brunch with every couple months. I have a friend that, speaking of trauma dumping, we joke, I'm like, oh, we trauma dump and we love bomb each other. Because we don't see each other for so long, everybody's grown. Every 4 months we'll meet up and we'll truly, in a quiet place, because like I said, no one wants to hear your issues when we're in the club. We're trying to have a good time. We're trying to escape our issues. Avoidance. So shut up. But ask for constructive criticism. I have friends around me that tell me the truth, and it always brings me back to that Breakfast Club interview with Kanye West when Charlemagne asked him,
because I don't think you got no more real on your team, yeah. And I hear it, because I hear the label people. I say to them, why did y'all let Bound 2 come out? And they was like, well, we can't tell you it's white. You don't need that kind of.
But who do you talk to, Kanye, when you want to get an honest opinion on something, or you need some feedback, or you need somebody to check you? Who do you talk to?
Talk to God.
And God is great. I believe in God. I love spirituality. I love God. But you do need things in the physical form to help you excel and to give you, you know, the guidance and the perspective. Because when you are too deep into the spiritual realm, you forget the physical exists. Faith without works is dead. It's not just about praying your problems away. You actually have to put in the work. So when you have people around you that give you that tough love, it's not in malice. Like, they're telling you something, and take it on board. Have a couple people around you that can be real with you. And there's different ways to find that. If you don't have friends, there's so many apps these days. I'm on a few where you just meet people that, like, someone's into fashion, I'll go meet them and we'll talk shop. You know what I'm saying? It's just put yourself out there. Find some people that can give you constructive criticism across the board. I don't like it just in one area. We're in a place now where everyone's so PC, they don't tell anyone the truth. And I think that's a bad direction that we're heading in. It's okay to disagree with people and have nuance, and still, it doesn't have to be beef. If someone tells you, oh, kind sir, your breath is a little tart, wouldn't you rather they told you that so you can fix the issue? Or do you want to just be living blindly?
Ladies, B-Love's in the house.
Ew, dragon breath.
Who you talking to?
That's just my 2 pence. Of course it's hard to hear. No one's saying you have to like it. I think we're in a place now where everyone thinks things have to be easy. If someone tells you the truth, you're like, oh, you're supposed to brush it off. No, you can cry, you can be upset, but is there some truth in what they're saying? You don't have haters. Maybe you just have a lot of people telling you the truth. We meet up, we talk. She says her issues, I say mine. Of course, like I said, nobody's a licensed professional, but it's still nice to vent. Small. Don't dump, just vent. Get some perspective from the people around you, and you can develop a support system. Because if you have no friends, no family, no colleagues, just no one around you that you can speak to and get some opinions on, you're probably the issue. Because you should have 1 or 2 people you can call. Do you know what I'm saying? In a tough bind, or if you're going through something. So if you scroll through the Rolodex, and you can't call anyone, you have to think you've isolated yourself. Because like I said, most people are good people. We all get into a situation where we need to be on our own. But if you truly, every friendship ends, every job ends, you have to look within, because that's not them, it's you.
I say this all the time. You went to primary school, you left with no friends. You went to secondary school, you left with no friends. You went to college, you left with no friends. You went to uni, you left with no friends. At church, you left with no friends. You're the problem, G.
Volunteer. Find a charity that you can volunteer for. It doesn't even have to be a charity. It could be someone you know that, needs help. Do something once in a while that is about giving back. In my house, my mum is the most creative disciplinarian you'll ever meet. She reminds me of Michael Kyle.
You don't know? Well, let me smell your breath. Oh, damn. That smell like pyrrhea.
I remember my brother got drunk at 14. You know what she did? A normal parent, I don't know, African parent probably beat you. But my mum, she didn't really beat you. She was, I've had 1 or 2 ass whoopings. But mostly her revenge is poetic, artistic. That's the only way I could put it. Every time I did something wrong, I felt deep in my soul like I need to fix this. And but I would rather she just slap me, because then it would be, but I wouldn't have learned the lessons I've learned, and I wouldn't have had the mindset I have now. So there's that. But the fact that my walls aren't as white as they could be is really irritating me. And someone promised to paint. That was my birthday gift, so I've come to collect this year. You know who you are. My brother got drunk. You know what she did? She put popcorn in his nose and ears and took pictures of him, left him on the sofa to sober up, because obviously someone brought him home. And then, this was a time where it wasn't like your phone where you can have the pictures just there. You had to go get the pictures developed. My mom didn't even get them developed ASAP. We didn't even know she did this. She got them developed a couple months later and showed them to him. This is the type of household I've been raised in. You have to understand, because people often say to me, oh, you're unbothered, that's probably part of one of the things that's my dark side as well. I'm not unbothered, it's just I've been raised in a particular way to not sweat the small stuff, and if something bad does happen, focus on the solution. My mum's so solution orientated that if you cried about something and it was a nonsense thing, she'll just make fun of you. She'll be like, cry baby, and I'm like, but she took mine. She's like, okay, but did you die? So I've been raised that way, so it's hard for me sometimes to not laugh in serious situations, or things that hurt other people, because of just how I've been raised. And like I said, I understand if you don't fuck with me for that, because yeah, it's unusual. So I can't even fault you for that. But one thing, as cool as my mum was, you were forced to volunteer. When we were younger, she forced us to be altar servers, which I'm grateful for now. I love church. I don't go often, but I go a couple times a year, and it's just a vibe. It's weird to describe church as a vibe, isn't it? But truly it is. When I go, I'm like, oh, I enjoyed that. But my mum would make sure you volunteered. Whenever we go to Uganda, which is where I'm from, my thing is clothes, so I always have that in excess. So I would always bring one suitcase for me, one suitcase full of clothes, go to different people and places and give clothes. She always had a list of charity work that I had to do, and recently it's more been helping out at homeless shelters, and I'm grateful for that, because at first I was like, why is it, and it didn't even feel like why, because my mom's so pure and her intentions were so sincere, people didn't even question it. She got not only me, we were about 9 or everyone that we lived near, all of our neighbors, to join children in need and sing carols and raise money. That's my mom. She's she's something else. But so the giving back aspect of life, she instilled in me. So when I'm feeling unbalanced or ungrateful, there's people out here that can't see, can't hear, are sick, wheelchair bound. And when you look at your life, most people, you forget how blessed you are sometimes, because we live in such a comfortable time in life. This is why we have so many internet beefs and people getting cancelled for talking too much, because we have nothing else to do, and the pandemic didn't help that. It only further perpetuated it. So it's like, give back, you'll feel great. It's kind of a selfish thing to give back because you feel good. I don't even know what number we're on at this point. 10 times happier, 20 times happier. Have I gone past 10? Incorporate something holistic into your life. It could be meditation, yoga, burning sage, crystals, I don't know, whatever you're into. Incorporate that into your life, because it kind of teleports you to a different realm. And I sound weird probably, but truly, after meditating or after eating herbs, not weed, but if that's your thing, CBD, LMNOP, something that is not too, we all have like a dopamine fix, so something other than the chocolate cake, something other than alcohol, something other than, something holistic into your life. It really elevates you mentally and transports you to a different space. So I couldn't miss that out. It could be doing a turmeric ginger lemon shot, stuff that you don't normally do it. Like, look into the holistic realm, holistic things, holistic healing, and try and incorporate one element of that into your life. And also find a creative outlet. I think I probably have too many creative outlets. I need more structure, if anything, but I think the opposite is true for most of the world. I don't know, join a team. It can be something cringe, like join the local netball team, basketball team, do golf. Paint. These things really do feel amazing and change a lot when it comes to your mood. And also feel the feels. When you're in a bad mood, feel that, but don't project. If you're in a bad mood, why do I have to be in a bad mood? So if you are that type of person that projects onto others, these types of things will help you see that, because you're like, damn, I'm acting like this because of this. Oh, and also, dedicate a day in your week. It could be more than one day, but at least a day where you focus on your physical appearance. We live in a shallow society. People care about looks, and you should care about yours as well. So dedicate a day. If you're a woman, you got to do your nails once a week, she says, with her chip nails. Today's the day. Your hair, work on your fashion, whiten your teeth, oil pulling, good way to whiten your teeth. Also holistic. Your physical appearance matters. For women more than men, but men still, get a shape up, shower. But yeah, focus on your physical appearance. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you look good. And anyone stressed about me wearing clothes on my bed, these are not outside clothes. I have not been outside today. I've just dressed up just for you, because I'm so generous. I got ready just for this video, because that is a thing. Wearing outside clothes on your bed is a little bit, the ADHD kicks in. I always get off the point. You think, how have I managed to even upload a video? I don't know. Set a goal that scares you, and you don't have to tell people. People love announcing things too much. Just set it for yourself, and when you accomplish it, tell people, or don't. Do something that scares you once in a while. We're supposed to feel a bunch of emotion. Yeah, you're supposed to be scared. I think, like I said, we're in such a comfortable era, such a comfortable time in life, that people are so numb. Like, you're just doing your job, going to work, going to the gym, eat, use the toilet, go home, rinse, repeat. And some of you don't rinse. Do something that scares you. You're supposed to feel every emotion: sadness, happiness, joy, pain. You're supposed to feel them all. That's why they exist. I know we don't like feeling them all, but it gives you perspective. When something bad happens, you appreciate the good more. So do something that scares you, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be a bit cringe. Like, doing YouTube, that's cringe. If you think about it, you're just there talking to yourself. Well, I'm talking to you guys, but you know what I mean. And yeah, to tie this all in, go to therapy. It's the beginning of the year. Your feelings are valid. You could be feeling grief. Maybe someone died. You could have lost a job. You could have ended a relationship, a friendship. Your feelings are valid. We always feel things, and it's good to be in the feels. I'm saying it's not good to stay in one mood for long, and it's important to learn things that trigger you. So this thing makes me angry. That thing caused me to be upset. This made me happy. I think reflecting is so fun. I love a bit of self-help work, because we're constantly needing to improve. And I think when you're stagnant, that's when the most madness happens in your life, because there's nothing going on and you're just stuck. So evaluating things and constantly looking within and eliciting help really does make a world of difference. As I said, as you know, I'm a critic with no credentials, but that's just my 2 pence, and thank you for watching. Love you, mean it. Happy New Year. Africans say Happy New Year for the whole of January.
I give them long life and prosperity. Many happy returns. Happy New Year. And all Joy FM crews.
It'll be the 30th, and you've got until the 31st of January. Isn't that ethnic, people? Happy New Year. If I haven't seen you yet, I don't care if it's January 26th, I'm saying Happy New Year. And you better say it back.